Let's take a little ride, but as we leave, we can see that we got a lot of big boys hanging around here. We're gonna take a little ride on the mule, see what we can see. There's 4 big boys right there. 2 more big boys right there. Oh my, look at that. Look at the big wide TC. And that's where, of course, Forrest gets his width, which is really pretty spectacular also. But TC, his father's 6 or 7 years old, and Mr. Forrest there is only 3 years old. Got a lot of okra out there to eat on the ground, a few squash. They've eaten up most of the squash, looks like. A little okra out there. Some of that okra gets a little bit too big and gets tough for them. But there's Mom and the baby way back there. Mom and the baby way back there in the background. Yeah, look at that. Big bucks and Mom and the baby. And there's another doe back there, but she has no baby with her. All right, let's go for a ride. Well, we'll ride by and go over in my partner's house and make sure everything's good over there. As we drive by, we see Prince Charming and Casper and Ice. Little Whitey, Split Ears, Rose. Everybody's over there having a great evening. Weather's cooled off some. It's actually not very high humidity, and so what has happened is even though it got up to 104 degrees today, which is less than it got up to yesterday, even if it got up to 104 degrees today, the heat index is not but about 104. I mean, it's really hot, but it's a drier heat, kind of like what they have out west, where last week, or before I left, not last week, but last week too, I guess, there's an elk, young elk. Slow down where I can get a look at her there. Is that a her or a him? I think it's a her. All by itself, I guess. I'm looking all around. I don't see any more around anywhere. That elk, I guess, is all by itself. I don't know what we'll see in this little ride around. It's a little while before dark. I definitely want to go up and take a look at the garden because it's spectacular. The NutriPlot has made it spectacular. That's all I can say. It was so bad, and yet it's producing lots and lots of stuff. We're going to go take a look at it. I'm in my partner Steve's yard, and this is just kind of a nice view that he's got all around his house. Actually, this is in the front of his house, and I'm going to just show you the view that he's got because he's just got a spectacular spot on the lake, and it's just really sensational. But you take a look here, and I'm just going to go around to the other side of the house, which would be, I guess this would be the back of the house. It's where they go in. But I think the way their house is situated, this would be called the back. I'm not sure. But anyway, he doesn't use that boat dock much anymore. He built him a nice new boat dock. Got a really steep angle here. But you can go around and you can see that he's got beautiful sunsets. And you can see we're driving all around. I'm just holding the camera in my hand. I'm not panning or anything, just letting it see what it will see. And you can see there that, they're just looking down at the dam. The sun's still pretty high in the sky, way up there. We'll glimpse at it. But you can see he's just got water all around. He's right out here on a point, which is why you build houses on the points in the first place, is so you can have water all around. Actually, my original partner, Dr. Neil Small, picked this spot. This was just solid trees over here. They cleared it out, left the big trees. As you can see, they still have lots and lots of shade, lots and lots of big trees, kind of like we do over at our house, lots of shade. And you can see he's got water all the way around. And not only is that on this point, it goes up into this one pocket where he's got his new boat dock that he built. He's got his Ranger boats in, and it's a beautiful boat dock. But everything looks good over here. I just come over here and check every now and then, make sure a tree hasn't fallen on the house or done any damage. It all looks good. Let's go toward the garden. I'm gonna turn this off. kind of just take a look at it, because these are some really big, beautiful, improved pecans right here. And now we'll just have to come and pick these pecans up. But you can see this tree right there. There's a beautiful cluster of 3. Look at the size. Look at the size of those pecans. And there's quite a few clusters in this tree right here. There's another cluster of 2 and a cluster of 4. See that cluster of 4? And look at the size of those. You look up through that tree right there, and they're all up through there. Just about every branch has got some on it. Come down here even low. There's a cluster of 3. Nice little cluster of 3 right there. And we can walk around the tree and we'll be seeing nuts all the way around. Good cluster of 2 right there. Now, again, this tree's not big enough, not strong enough to shake, so we'll just have to come in here and pick them up. These will be some of Jimmy's pecans. Yeah, Jimmy's pecans, but you look, you can see them all the way up. You can see pecans there all the way up. Beautiful, down low, pecans there. Just about there's a cluster of 4. That's fantastic when you see that. A cluster of 3. All I'm doing is simply walking around this tree, and you see the size of these things. Those are big, improved pecans. 2, 3, or 4. 4, I guess. Keep walking around the tree. We find more. But we can look at some of the other trees out here. We're going to find some of them that have them. There's a nice cluster of 4. I don't know if I can get pointed at it right there, I guess it is. Yeah, I think I've got it right there. But we look at some of the other trees out here, we're going to see the same thing. And that is looking good. All the way up to the top, we go up here to the top lens, we can zoom in on a nice cluster. I don't know if I'm zoomed in on that cluster or not. 3 or 4 right there anyway. Sweet, very sweet. Here is one of our big native trees. You see how big that tree is. It's huge. It's up here near Apache's house. Got a lot of low-hanging limbs. We can kind of take a look and we can see right there. We'll just zoom in right there, and you can see some nice clusters. Look at all those clusters right there. The tree is loaded. The tree is loaded. That limb's going to be very, very low. And you just look all up through there. There's just pecans everywhere. These are big, full-grown trees. There's pecans everywhere on them. Look at all those pecans. We look up through there, we can just see cluster after cluster after cluster after cluster. It's so much different. It's been the last couple years. I don't know, the big rains we had in July, we already had these pecans on here before that happened. But as you scan the tree, you can just see cluster after cluster after cluster. Big, beautiful pecans right there. Look at the size of those rascals, will you? Look at the size of those pecans. Beautiful, beautiful pecans. We got all kinds of clusters everywhere. Getting up down here low to the ground. This is right down low to the ground. Look at those pecans right there. Looky there. Look at that. Look up through there. Back off just a little bit. Just go up through there looking. Just all I'm doing is panning up. Just panning up, pan over to the side. As you move around, you just see pecan after pecan after pecan. And we could drive by. Look here again. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. We don't get a bug problem between now and fall. We should have fantastic, fantastic pecans. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Back off a little bit. Look there. Looky here. These are just low limbs that are down. These pecans could be picked by hand from just walking around. That's just how low they are. You could pick a lot. Of course, we will shake this tree. This is a big giant double tree. See, it's a big double tree there. And over here you can see how low these are to the ground. We can come over here and take a look. We're going to probably find the exact same situation. Cluster after cluster after cluster. Pecans. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. They're just everywhere. Woohoo! We love it. We are at the garden now, and you'll remember when we come up to the garden here a while back how everything was so small, and we just was worried about having anything at all. We actually have hit home runs since then with NutriPlot on these plants. Look at these okra plants right here, and they're covered in okra, Apache's picking okra off here every day, and you can see in looking at all the okra on that plant right there, and he's picked them this morning. There's a lot that needs to be picked this evening. Those are nice little juicy young ones right there, all sizes. There's a giant. That one's too big. That one's too big, but there are a couple little ones there. And you look down through here. I hear the chainsaw. Apache's down there with the guy that we've hired to help him trim limbs on the bottoms of the pecan trees, so we will be able to harvest under them a little bit better, row under them a little bit better. Yeah, it's going to be nice. But you can just see all the pecans there. I mean, pecans. Ha! Okra. See all the okra. Not pecans, okra. Lots and lots of okra, though. You down through here, and you see this okra here. Look how tall this thing is. You think the NutriPlot is helping or what? That thing is like 5 foot tall. That's 5 foot tall. It really is something. It really is something. And they just keep on going as we walk over here. You can see, I guess those are muskmelons in. I'm not real sure that those are like big cantaloupes, but they're not really cantaloupes. It must be a muskmelon. We cut one. It's not real sweet, but again, we're having some giants. We do have a bunch of cantaloupes that are just doing spectacular. You can look through all the squash plants, and we're feeding a lot of squash. Get a couple, 2 or 3 5-gallon buckets every single day. Again, you look over here on this side, you just see okra, 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 okra. Cutting okra every day. We're getting a lot of squash off of these squash plants every day, about a 5-gallon bucket or 2 off of here, and feeding them to the deer and eating them ourselves. No way could we even begin to eat a full bunch of them. Huh? I mean, we couldn't get close. We just ate nothing but squash. We couldn't get close. And you can see there's a lot of squash down in there. There's squash down in there. I don't know if you can see those yellow squash down through there, but there's a lot, and they're still going strong. Good squash land down there on the ground. Beautiful. More and more every single day. More okra every day. And cantaloupes, we got plenty of cantaloupes. We have plenty of watermelons. Watermelons are doing great as well. The tomatoes we have planted are I don't know, Apache picked them, and I guess he got baby tomatoes because they're small. He did have a bunch of tomatoes in the buckets this morning that we fed to the deer. They like tomatoes. We get over here on this side. Again, that's 2 big rows of squash. It's a lot of squash. Look how big they are. You get over here, we get into cantaloupes, and you can see we have cantaloupes, cantaloupes, cantaloupes. He brought me down several today. We still have several. You can just look and see them over here. See the cantaloupes down there? Green ones, ripe ones, ripe ones. Just amazing how many cantaloupes. Look at them. And this whole row is full of cantaloupes that you're looking at right there. And again, the deer love the cantaloupes too. And there's several here that are ripe. That's a good ripe one there, I know. Chris and I are going to have cantaloupes this evening for after we eat dinner. We're going to have some cantaloupes, or with the dinner, I guess I should say, not after. You get into this over here, and I kind of worry about rattlesnakes when I'm walking in here. You get into watermelons. You see those big watermelons right there. Those watermelons are ready to pick. You look off down through here and you see smaller watermelons. And this is watermelons over there. There's watermelons under about everything there. And again, all the way. Now, we got quite a few weeds in here. There's just the weeds are growing so good. NutriPlot will also help grow weeds too. I'm afraid I had to tell you that, but that's the truth. But we've got the watermelon plants are going in every which direction. I'm talking every which direction. And they got watermelons in them everywhere. And over in that bunch is cantaloupes everywhere. Another big watermelon right there. I don't know if I'm looking at it or not. I'm just sort of pointing this in the direction. But we got watermelons, lots of watermelons all over. Big watermelon right there. Yeah. We can see that watermelon down there. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. And there's watermelons just all over. And We've got peppers, lots of peppers going up. We stepped on a big watermelon then, didn't even see it. Just stepped on the edge of it. Now tomatoes have not done great, although Apache picked quite a few tomatoes this morning. They're not big, the plants have not done good. We just don't seem to be good tomato people. But again, you get over here, I think he's got more okra planted over there. That may be, he's got some of his peppers in this line over here. We got stuff everywhere. And you can see that it's grown up a lot. We are watering this, plus we got quite a little bit of rain the first 2 weeks of July. 2 days it rained 3.9 and 2.3. That was over 6 inches. And again, come over here, got some okra going right there, an okra plant. We got, I think that looks like squash. It may be, no, I think it's cantaloupes. More cantaloupes. Yeah, I see cantaloupes there on the ground. Cantaloupe, or maybe those muskmelons. That's what that is. I'm not positive. I definitely don't know a lot about gardening. This is some purple okra over here. Somebody sent me some seeds a couple years ago. And we planted this okra over here, and you can see it's a different okra, but look how tall it is. It's 3 or 4 foot tall. You put NutriPlot on your garden, and you will have more fruits, have more vegetables than you can eat. And get over here again, get into cantaloupes, 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 all down through there, tons of cantaloupes. So, that's a look at a NutriPlot garden right there. Absolutely. Look at cantaloupes over there. We got more cantaloupes than we can say grace over, which is exactly what we're going to do tonight. Say grace over some cantaloupes on dinner. We cannot go for a ride without coming over and taking a look at Big Canyon Lake. Big Canyon Lake is still low, but we're going to drive down by the boat ramp, go down on the boat ramp, take a look at it. You can see that it's close to 8 o'clock, but the sun is still pretty high in the sky up there. Big, beautiful, bright, shiny sun. You can look into it with your Jimmy Houston's Polaroids on. It's still pretty bright. So we just kind of look at the lake here a little bit, and if I get a chance, I'm definitely going to try to get over here in the next week or 10 days, do some fishing on this lake. I haven't been out on this lake in a long, long time. I don't know that I've even put a boat in the water and fished here. I have not put a boat in the water in this and fished. I fished off the bank a little bit, a few times, but I've not put a boat in the water and fished over here in 2023. Now, Jamie come over here one day and tried to catch some crappie and caught a lot of bass. He did not catch any crappie, couldn't find any crappie. I hope that we still have a huge crappie population in there. We have had some otter problems. I think I can launch my boat off the boat ramp. Just looking at this right here, I believe I can. I believe that I can launch my boat off the boat ramp. Now, it still looks like a long way to the water there, but, and there's a little hole there where we've been power loading. They don't like for you to power load up north because you do create that hole and you create a little hump back behind the hole. Doesn't really hurt anything, they just don't like it. And kind of just a rule they have a lot of places up north. But I believe for sure that I can get the boat in there. I'm gonna turn this off, set that brake, and move around here a little bit and look at this thing. Gosh, I wish I had a rod and reel with me. I'd make a few casts right here. I do not. Jimmy, you big dummy. Look at that shoreline. Can y'all see throwing a frog on that shoreline, guys and girls? Can you see doing that? Look at this shoreline over here. Oh my goodness. I can see throwing a frog or a spinner bait. I don't know how far it is down to the edge of the ramp here. It might be on down there pretty close to those green deals. I don't think it's quite that far. But at any rate, I don't know, it doesn't really matter if I can get backed off in there and get where that little hole is where I can get my boat to float off the trailer. I'll bring my O'Reilly Auto Parts. Look there, a fish jumping right out there. I'll bring my O'Reilly Parts Tracker 195 Pro Team over here and get out there and try to catch some fish. I get Pat down here. We'll video it, have some YouTube videos. Also, if we can catch enough, we might shoot a little episode for Jimmy Houston Outdoors, for ESPN, the Discovery Channel, the Weather Channel, WFN, Heartland, AT&T Sports Southwest. We are on about 12 or 14 different networks. More television. Look at those clouds in the sky. Isn't that pretty? Sun's getting ready to go down over the mountain over there. I'm down a little bit lower. It was quite a bit higher a minute ago. But there's Canyon Lake. It's got more water in it than it's had for a long time. You can see that it's up in places that was growing clear out to about the edge of where the weeds are. There's a lot of green stuff in there. So canyon's looking good, a little bit deeper, and I believe that we'll be able to catch some fish over here if we get over here in the next week or two and get a boat in the water and get a lure wet. It's a big wild bucks right there. Get a picture of them. Are they all gone? They're gone. Ooh, they were wild. 3 big bucks. They were wild, 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 wild. Ooh. I don't know if y'all got to look at them or not. I barely did. We may get to see those bucks. We may get to see those bucks over here on this other side. I saw them standing out in the field. Now, I don't know if they're going to take off running. They're 3 big giant bucks, and they're all wild bucks. There they go. There they go. There they go. 4 of them. 4 of them. Oh, and there's a whole bunch more deer out there in the field. Oh God! Everybody's running. I don't know how many of those are bucks. Those are probably little ones up there. But golly, there was 4 big giant bucks out there. And they were wild. They were super wild. And I bet the 4 bucks I could see for sure was over here. They run over on this other side together. Bucks are all running together. Now we're outside of the inside high fence. We're in the outside high fence. So these are none of the bucks that were at the house. None of the bucks were at the house. Don't know if y'all got to see them, but they had big racks. Big, big racks. Is that one way off over there? Am I seeing a deer way off over there? Or is that my imagination? No, it's not a deer. Wow, wow, wow. Those were big ones. Yes. I want y'all to take a look at these food plots. That's what NutriPlot does. Now we hayed all of this not very long ago. And you can look and see how big it is right now. Back off where you can really see it. Go in close. You can see how big it is right now. This is one of our really big food plots. It makes a lot of hay. And we hayed it not too long ago. Now granted, we got 6 inches of rain first 2 weeks in July, so that really helped. But that's what a NutriPlot field looks like right there. Absolutely gorgeous. All of those are big pecan trees that you're seeing out there, big pecan trees. They go on around that way. All, as far as you can see there, those are all pecan trees. And I'm going to just pull up here under this one and take a look. And I don't see any nuts on there. And on those low-hanging branches, I didn't see any anyway. Haven't looked at these over here, so I don't really know, but I'm sure a lot of these are going to have nuts on them as well, because it's just going to be a good year. It is going to be a good year. No doubt about it. Yeah, there's some nuts right there. Right there. There's some right there as well. And there's clusters, and that's really a little low-hanging brush. And you can see there's good clusters of nuts right there. Woohoo! How high this field is out here right now. You can see it's up over the top of the wheels on the mule. It's way up there. In state water. You got trouble with your balance or strength or endurance, that'll help. I drink it all the time. The only water I drink. Look how tall those are. This is really some tall stuff right here. Keep in mind that we hayed all of this already this year, and we're going to be able to hay it again at the end of next month or early September probably. We haven't got two cuttings of hay out of here. This will be the first time. Killer. And another little bunch of deer running right there. One pretty good sized baby. Might be 2 babies there. No, just 1 baby. I guess it's a baby. I don't see any spots. Maybe not. Maybe no babies in that little bunch. A bunch of does with no babies. Yeah, just a little bunch of does, 5 of them. One of those deer looked pretty small, but just a small doe, no baby. If I keep the camera pointed at them, it would help, wouldn't it? I love them so much. Like I have a tiny herd of elk. Oh, camera work is that? A tiny herd of elk. My windshield I can't see through, hardly. A tiny herd of elk. 2 elk on the, I think 2 elk on the inside and 1 elk on the outside. I wonder what happens if I open the gate. Open up gate. Open up gate. That one might go in. Can't get the gate to open from here. Open up gate. There it goes. Now that one that's out there might go in with the other 2. I don't know. So look in that direction. Go in that direction. I'll just sit here and watch for a minute and see what's going to happen. That's a young elk, and that's looks like a mama and a last year's baby right there. This one can't decide whether it's going to go or not. See if I can help it a little bit. I'll drive around over here. You really can't herd wild animals, but you might run that way. Probably not. There he goes. Probably run right by the gate. Run right by the gate. Naturally. And the other 2, they're going to run that way also, but they're going to run right by the gate and stay inside. That'll work. There's some bucks out in that little field. Turn up and take a look at them there. Oh, that's my house bucks. Yeah. That's TC. I see Forrest over there because I see his collar shining. Yeah. I just saw 2 wild bucks back there in the woods a minute ago, so I thought these might be some wild guys too. I think these are all the boys in the house. There's 4 of the 6 right there. Yeah. Gorgeous out there. Gorgeous out there in that field. He's TC and his son. They're pretty boys. Pretty boys. A big guy right there. Oh my goodness. And a big guy right there. My brakes got squeaking on me here. I got my foot on the brake. Rolling just a little bit. Very nice.